I've been training MMA for 3 months because I genuinely thought my fighting game brain gave me an advantage. And spoilers, it totally did. And it absolutely did not. It's no secret, I'm a turbo fighting game nerd. I'll throw up my peak ranks in various games wherever. And I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm probably better than I think 97% of you watching this video. And that came from playing hard and practicing hard, which in all my pre-MMA research is the exact same quality coaches look for. And that got me thinking. I've seen the UFC Hall of Famer Mighty Mouse talk about this void in between fighters, and we, fighting game players, we just call that neutral. There were so many little similarities like that, like the idea of whiff punishing, the idea of conditioning, the idea of feints. After about 2 weeks of telling myself and my friends, yeah, I'll go next week, the week after, I wasn't going. I finally get a text from one of them who's at the gym. He's saying, I'm here, where are you at? Now I had a choice to make. Do I make another excuse or do I bite the bullet? So I did. I went on 20 minutes notice. I hopped on my bike and I ran to the gym. And good thing I went because the last 3 months have been so fun. And yeah, my physique changed. I got a little bit more muscle. You can't really see because I got a hoodie on. Not by much, but I'll take it. First day jitters were in full effect when I got there. I felt like SpongeBob walking into that bar with all those hooligans. Everyone was big, tough, and shredded. And let's be real. One sec. Sorry, Guster, one sec. I'm 5'7" and 150 pounds. I'm playing like an F-tier character at best. But if fighting games and life taught me anything, is that you gotta suck before you're good. And suck I did, guys. First day, I got my ass beat. Let me tell you about it. We start with drilling, and we do some, it was 3 months ago, I don't remember the specifics, but we drilled, and then we went into rolling sessions. We were sparring on the floor. I can't tell you exactly what happened during the sparring or rolling sessions, but I can tell you the outcome. I got beat up, dude. Now, when I say beat up, it's a bit of an exaggeration. I was expecting to get hurt physically way more than I actually did. Everyone was super nice. The moment I stepped into the gym, you could feel the AoE friend buff. No one's there trying to hurt you. They're all practicing technique. They're not there to crank submissions full force, you know what I mean, and break your jaw. Cannot overstate it enough. No one's there to hurt you, at least in the gym I went to. So we get to rolling, and I get paired with this woman who's like way stronger than me, bro. She had like so much more muscle than me. It was crazy. And because I had no clue what I was doing, I went for some dumb shoulder grab, which I've learned can turn into an arm drag, a back take, or some a judo throw. But it was basically me jumping at a guy holding down back. A bad move. I get taken down on my back. I'm flailing, and I don't know this because I was flailing, but she was telling me, she like holds my arms and then tells me, hey, you might want to like not try and poke me in the eyes. That's not allowed. I was bright red, bro. I was exposed. I'm flailing. After that, she manages to get my back, I think, and I get submitted by a rear naked choke. Now, here's the weird part. I wasn't mad that I got beat up by a girl. I was curious. I was asking questions. How did you take me down? What were your legs doing on my thighs? And she gave me some great insights, and that's when I realized something I already knew from fighting games. Losing isn't failing, man. It's data that you can learn from. Then we moved on to striking, where I thought I might finally shine. A ground game doesn't exist in fighting games. Throws are binary. Either you tech the throw or you didn't. Someone needs to check Ryu's grappling, and I might be that guy, by the way. So I get swapped to a taller, bald guy. And by the way, you gotta be careful with these bald guys. I swear they don't lose their hair to male pattern baldness. It's Saitama, One Punch Man level power that they get. It just falls off. And was I nervous or what, bro? I was using a loaner from the gym of a pair of gloves and shin guards. And while I'm putting them on, I can feel my heart pumping out of my chest, man. What had surprised me though, as soon as we touched gloves and squared up, all of it went away. My heart stopped beating. All I could see was the guy in front of me. I thought to myself, I've been here before, man. I've been back against the wall, burnt out, waiting for the DI to come, buffering super. I've been there. I knew I was at a major disadvantage, but I had options. Striking went better. It went better. I didn't have the technique or like real punches yet. You know, of course, in my room I practiced the 1-2 and you know the hooks and whatever with YouTube videos. But it's totally different versus when like you're in your room versus when you're on the mat doing it on somebody. The number one piece of advice that I'm glad I heard before I went in was, I think it was either Mighty Mouse or Boss Ruthin was talking about, if your legs aren't moving, your head should be. And head movement, man, I had that down. I felt like Ippo. Fucking, I slipped maybe one dodge. I felt like Ippo, man. I thought I was going Ultra Instinct. But it didn't last long. I was walking towards the guy and I loaded up a right cross. I thought, I'm gonna get him with this shit, man. I forgot that MMA is a 4-limb sport. He hits me with like a 10% power teep right here on, I think this is my diaphragm, I don't know. I got fucking winded, man. Bro, my hands drop, I turn away, I'm doubled over, I'm like trying to catch my breath. And I realized if it was a real MMA fight, I was done right then and there. But thankfully, it's not a real fight. We're there to train. He stops, he asks if I'm okay. I have to sit there like, yeah, I'm alright, that was good. After that, we drilled some moves and rolled some more. Which concluded my first day at MMA, and I was hooked, man. I went to bed blissfully unaware of the aches and pains I would be feeling in the morning. I remember vividly having to employ every muscle in my body to try and get off my back in the morning. I had to like load up momentum to get off my back. But that didn't stop me. I ended up going 2 times a week consistently with an extra day maybe thrown in if I had the time and the willpower. Now, I'm not going to give you a play-by-play of all my training sessions because that would get boring fast. I just gave you the first day. But I am going to talk about some of the things that I had to grapple with, no pun intended, over the last 3 months. And the big one is pain. It's at the center of the entire sport, and honestly, it's the end goal. And you can tell by looking at me, I hope, I'm not a violent guy. I feel bad picking the mean dialogue option in RPGs, let alone inflicting real pain on people. And I didn't have to really confront that until I got good enough to accidentally hurt people. My first real tap. I was rolling with this taller dude, like a full head and shoulders above me taller. He shoots for a takedown, and I catch him in a guillotine. And I'm doing everything my coach taught me, you know, squeeze the hips, you know, pull your arm, tighten the choke. And I'm so caught up in trying to finish the submission, I didn't notice he's tapping on my leg, and I felt terrible. I did a bad thing. There's a huge level of trust you give your training partner to not kill you, and violating that can turn a friendly rolling session into an actual fist fight. And sure, that's dangerous, but that's not even what I was worried about. And it made me realize something like important. I'm training for something I'll truly never want to use. Alright, that last part was a bit too real for my taste, so let's get into the silly stuff. Did my fighting game experience translate into MMA? Short answer, full-throated yes, with a very confused little note at the end. Let me start with what didn't work. So this might be normal beginner behavior, but I went into every rolling session with the idea of winning. I'm gonna tap this guy out, which everyone knows that's not where growth happens, by winning every time. Luckily, this was a lesson I had already learned in fighting games, so it was very easy to let go of wanting to win every rolling session. Now for the next downside of being a fighting game nerd, and you might laugh, is that there's no HP bar. Here's a story. I was absolutely spamming jab low kick on this dude, and I mean spamming. I'm treating it like it's his leg is a tree and my shin is an axe, bro. And after like the 8th clean leg kick, you know, I'm thinking, all right, his leg is finished. His health bar is flashing. He's got to be in the danger zone. So I asked him, hey man, you good? Because I don't want to like hurt him. And he goes, yeah man, I'm good. Don't worry about it. Keep going. Bro, I was devastated. I was expecting him to start limping. Now, sure, he might have been lying to me, which is like the most likely scenario, but here's the thing, that's allowed. In fighting games, all the cards are on the table, all the info is on the screen. Now, let's talk about the part I think you want to hear, how fighting games actually help. These aren't in any particular order, just whenever I come up with them. Number 1 is not flinching and staying calm when shots are flying. It took me maybe about 4 training sessions to stop flinching when someone throws a jab or I've heard people train for months and they still flinch. And I've seen it firsthand. I've sparred with guys who started before me, and the second I feint a jab, bro, it's a full body, like, you know, there's a full body reaction. It's like I pressed DI raw in Burnout. And I didn't train it consciously. I wasn't like flicking water at my eyes or anything. I think it just comes from staring at my screen, like waiting for a whiff and trying to whiff punish it with Ed or whatever. Number 2, knowing how to read what's not directly in front of me. Now this might seem a bit abstract, but I swear other fighting game players will get it. I can react, or I guess more accurately, anticipate threats that I don't explicitly see. Like if I slip a jab, I'm already pulling back for the cross. Not because I visually caught the guy going for a cross, but like there's, you know, it's in the back of my mind, hey, he's got 2 hands, there's something more coming. It's like knowing your opponent's like options after a block normal, if they're plus or minus. I'm going off script here, so it might sound a little silly, but it also has to do with seeing tells. Like someone, if someone drops their hand right before a jab, I need to see it twice before I can tell. The nice thing about MMA versus fighting games is 9 times out of 10, people are gonna want to hit you in the head if they're not that good. So if the target is one thing, that's one thing I have to worry about, unlike in fighting games where it's, low, high, permanent, if that makes any sense. I don't know if I'm going to include that in the video. Now, number 3, using feints to my advantage. Feints in fighting games are mythical. They don't exist. Sure, you can throw a Hashogeki from full screen trying to bait out a jump, trying to fake a fireball to bait out a jump, but if your opponent's awake at the wheel, it's like almost never going to work. In MMA, feints are as convincing as you can make them. There aren't a set amount of buttons that do specific actions like in fighting games. I know it sounds stupid. I could literally start breakdancing in the middle of on the mat like Wing in his fights, and if I sell it, people will react. It was weird and hard to get used to at first, but when I started using feints properly, man, making someone flinch from a fake cross felt like cheating. I didn't even throw the strike, but I got the plus frames anyway. And as cringe as it sounds, going through this MMA journey made me realize something when it comes to fixing my problems. Holes in my defense, bad habits, all that. Fighting games already taught me the blueprint. You recognize the mistake, you lab it, you drill it, most importantly, remove ego from the process. And that's number 1, because I see so many guys in my gym struggle with that, like, when you catch a higher belt in a submission, and they go, wait. So what you want to do is you want your elbow, facing down when you go for the rear naked, and then you crank it, like I didn't catch you in that already. You know what I mean? I'm glad I didn't have to struggle with that ego problem because I went through it already in Tekken 7. I used to get so mad at the game, man. We don't have to get into it, but never again. I used to get so mad. And after every session, I could replay the rounds in my head. And I knew why I got taken down. I knew why I got submitted. And I knew why I ate those jabs to the dome or whatever. Not because I'm some kind of prodigy. Because I've played this game before. Just with pixel people instead of sweaty ones. Now, I'll never fight in a cage. I'm not training for some self-defense fantasy where I'm the main character saving the day. I'm doing this just because it scratches the same itch that fighting games does in my brain. And honestly, it's fun comparing yesterday me to today me, and that's all I really want out of a hobby. This has been Dini. Thanks for watching.